Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another video. Today's video is another episode of the Chronicles, and if you have been keeping up with the Chronicles, which I have been doing videos of every single one of them, you will know at what point we have stopped. Now, however, if you do not, you can either A, go back and watch the other videos of the Chronicles, or B, you can try to go to the website of the Paladins and find all the other Chronicles and read them yourself. But why not just watch the videos where I explain certain things you might not know of? In fact, why not checking out the rest of the channel, since I have a crap ton of videos about lore about specific characters, lore about the entire timeline of Paladins, and the current lore that we have also as well, and even some lore theories. Okay, so feel free to go and check that out. In the end of the video, I'll also leave a little rectangle on the screen for you guys to click on. And without any further ado, let's get into this, because this one is a long one, and not just that, it's also part 1. However, I do not know when part 2 is coming out. So let's just get into this. Just so we can understand straight away what I'm reading, this apparently is being told by Grohk to the rest of his tribe. So let's go with what he's saying. The Paladins, the realm's most valiant defenders, ones who brought an age of peace and prosperity, their stories became that of legends. Their members became leaders and symbols. However, they would succumb to the weakness of all beings, hubris. Crystals came, and with that power leads to divides, and none was greater than that of Valera and Karn. Karn's magistrate took over the realm when the Paladins disbanded in peacetime, and the discovery of the crystals threatened the way of life they preserved. Power in the hands of anyone could lead to more unrest, more strife. So he thought out to outlaw this newfound discovery. His once ally, Valera, staunchly opposed such an action, restricting the next generation of magicians and heroes from ever being realized. She formed a resistance to fight against him, and thus the Crystal Wars begin. And then this is somebody else talking. And that's where you entered, right? Question mark. A young orc shouted as the tribe listened intently to the story being told. Grohk chuckled as he patted the young one in the back. Yes, that's where Grohk joined in. He's talking in third person. Grohk had to ensure we would be safe no matter who or what ruled this realm. With lightning in my hands, we watched on as the Stagala were reawakened. The houses mobilized, and the last warder returned. Crystals were the least of our worries, as the Abyss Empire slowly crept their way back into the realm, reigniting an ancient conflict. Then we have here, this section here, this is not him talking. The orcs all shuddered at the thought of such power beyond them, their quaint home within the greenwood feeling like a speck of dirt on the bottom of a vast riverbed. Their chieftain was all that stood between them and such foes, and so they rallied behind him as he continued his tale. Then this is Grohk again. Then the man beyond our time warned us of the imminent danger, the darkness. As Yaggorath began to devour the realm, all sides were scrambled as a universal need to survive outweighed any prior conflict. They fought side by side until Azan came down from the pyre itself to seal away the being once more. The crowd cheered as Grohk waves his hands to settle them. However, he is not the savior of orcs. The pyre is not our ally. They care only for their defeat of the Abyss. That is why we need the Paladins now more than ever. It's why Grohk departs. So, up until here, what's going on is that Grohk is essentially explaining to his tribe what happened and what were the Paladins, what was the real conflict, how did it got resolved, and how Grohk even fit into the middle of the story. And he also says that due to what is happening now between the pyre and the Abyss, Grohk needs to go by himself and try to, just group up the Paladins again so that this can be fought off together. He actually says it a little bit here to the front, that it even states that Yaggorath is part of the reason as to why he knows that them fighting together is the best way to deal with the pyre and the abyss and whatever's coming. So let's continue. The whole village fell silent. Their protector, who had stood by them through all this, was going to leave? Murmurs grew of fear and doubt. Grohk waited patiently as his people returned their attention to him. Then Grohk says, Grohk will still protect you. You will be ever safe. This realm grows, and allies are the only way to ensure we are heard and seen. Grohk will return, friends in hand, promise. And this essentially is now his departure. He says, the village, he doesn't say this, this is the narrator. The village erupted into applause, and people rallied behind their chieftain as he took up his staff and left to meet with their closest peer, Cassie of House Arturos. So, essentially, we're going to hear another person joining the party now, and it's actually Cassie. So Cassie is now going to be the one talking, and she's saying, the resistance is as it once was is no more. Cassie's words bounced off trees around them as she walked with Grohk down the trail following Ziggs. And then she says it again. House Ico is seeing to that. So Cassie's putting a little bit of trust into House Ico. Not the best idea, but sure. This is Grohk. Okay, this is not about the resistance, it's about paladins. Grohk insists. As Ziggs begins to squat at something at the distance, Cassie lines up a shot and takes a deep breath before she sends out an arrow towards the bush. And then she goes like, there's a difference? Cassie asks her half-heartedly as she retrieved her prize, so she hunted something. The resistance fought for a purpose. Paladins fought for the realm. We need to unite. Ma taught us that. So there you go, what I was talking about earlier. So Grohk is specifically saying, listen, it can't just be House Ico. Everybody has to group up. Everybody has to work together so that we can stop what's coming. Okay? Grohk stands tall as Cassie looks up and down on him as if she were gauging his level of dedication. She sighs with a smile on her face. I'll go speak to Grover. If you want this plan to work, we're going to need Barrick. He has connections throughout the realm, and we are going to need all the help we can get. Last I heard, he had set up shop in the trade district. And then Grohk says, whatever you say, hunters, until we meet again. Then Grohk finds Barrick later on and says, actually this is Barrick saying, well, I never thought I'd see the day. Barrick shouts over the noise of his workshop as Grohk tries to continue but can't overcome the sound of hammering. Red River orcs coming out and telling us we need to do better? Happy to have you. Welcome. Barrick sits down with his visitor and discusses the difficulty of the task before them. Talus has gone off to fight the magistrate oppression of the squadron alongside a group of former resistance members. They were their own group now, but perhaps some would join their endeavor. He'd contact the young one and see if he returns for a conversation. As their discussion continues on, a nearby mercenary would approach, interested in what she's heard. If you want, I can handle Buck and his cohort. Us sentinels have unfinished businesses. I could convince him that this is just a cause. So, apparently, Buck and Cassie, Tyra, because this is the person, yeah, if you didn't understand, this is Tyra. Tyra and Buck are all part of the same group, and she's saying, I can convince Buck, he joins us, and we got one more person joining us, and that'll be fantastic. And apparently they still have some businesses, unfinished businesses. That's actually interesting. How kind of you to join us, Tyra, Barrick sarcastically states as he returns to assembling his latest gadget. All we need now is someone we can get these champions to rally behind. And then Grohk says, who's your leader now? Grohk asks as if he felt he should properly introduce himself, chief to chief. Barrick's face drops as Tyra coughs before speaking. They don't have one. Last one up and left on some crusade. Your best bet? The Stone Warden. She's a paladin through and through. A bit reluctant, but you've got a convincing smile. A quick laugh escaped her as she salutes and pieces away. Grohk grunts and stands tall but towered Barrick. Thank you, mechanic, until we stand together in battle. So now is the part where Grohk, we receive information that the closest person to a leader they have on this group is Inara. So he's going to talk to Inara. He's going to find her on Shattered Desert, where she's hunting for clues as to where Terminus is. Remember that, technically speaking, Corvus is the one controlling Terminus, so as far as I'm concerned, Terminus is long gone somewhere, just some storage room or something, because, Corvus kind of died, and they had to bring him back to life with Lilith. So, yeah, and now he's working for the Magistrate. So unless Terminus is back there as well, I don't really know where he is. But let's continue. Grohk would find Inara wandering through the Shattered Desert, hunting for clues to uncover Terminus's last location. The Stone Warden looked somber, yet determined. On his approach, he felt the weight of her heart. "Great Stone Warden," he begins to call out. "Silence, a moment," she quietly responds, slowly kneeling to pick up a chunk of stone, holding it against her chest. She hesitantly rises to face him. "What is it you seek from me, chieftain?" And Grohk says, "I seek the leader of the Paladins," Grohk states simply, as if the words would make any sense. "Oh, Valera is long gone. She left us all after Yagarath was subdued. She spoke of another fight over the horizon. They only ever need Stagala when there is a battle to be had." Inara continued on, wandering between the lines in the sand. "I do not seek those who have failed before. I look to the future, one where those who have been wronged can make the realm right. You were summoned by Valera herself. If anyone can usher in this next era, it's you. One where all our people can live in peace," said Grohk. "And prosperity," Inara responds, as if by instinct. He once stood for that as well. This realm, it has taken so much. She stomps and raises a rock from the ground to reveal a chipped handle of an axe. She begins to reach out but stops herself. "It also gives us life, a chance to be better, more than we are alone. Your hurt is not your own to bear. I know not of your pain, but I know of your strength." Grohk holds out his staff to her, not as a threat, but as an offering. After a moment, Inara turns towards him and locks eyes. She pauses for a long moment, then picks up her own and crosses it with his. "Your words are inspiring, chieftain. I will try. For all our people and those we have lost, the Paladins will defend the realm once more. Tell all those who seek peace and justice to join us in Greenwood." "Thank you, Warden. May the realm prosper. Grohk must return home to inform tribe." Grohk quietly bows and departs back to Red River to let his people know that they will be safe once more. So, up until now, again, Grohk tells the story of what happened up until now to his tribe, explains why he needs to leave to gather everybody together. He then talks to Cassie. Cassie directs him over to Barrick. And when he meets Barrick, Tyra shows up and also gives some information. They even say they can get some people. They said that they will send a message to Talus to see if he wants to join their fight, since Talus is kind of busy at the moment. Also, Tyra says that she might be able to convince Buck. Do not forget that Cassie also said she would also talk to Grover to see if he would like to join them. And Barrick then says that the closest thing they have to a leader is Inara because Valera has left. Grohk talks to Inara and convinces her, so now, technically speaking, the Paladins are back. Now, let's take a look at the final chapter here, the final section of this chapter, as to where Inara says the following. As she returns to Greenwood, Inara feels the consequence of her choice set in. She gathers herself as she walks the halls, remembering all the battles she had fought alongside her old friends. She was summoned to fight, and now she was to lead. This time, they would stand to protect everyone, even those who had no one to fight for them. A realm united not by who leads, but the people within it. She would simplify by the wall between them and that which would hurt them. She always was. Okay. Suddenly, the gates of the fort burst open as wings clang in the distance. She approaches the entrance to see Furious, strained and hurt, flying towards her. We have a problem. Ceres, she, Furia states, and a commanding tone that betrays her panicked look, "We're here to help." Inara interrupts and straightens her posture. What can the paladins do? So this final section is a tie-up to the last Chronicles where Furia was looking for Ceres. She finds Ceres trying to open a portal or of some sort or something that I'm guessing that it's a portal to summon abyssal monsters so that they can take over the realm, since Nyx's array went to the Pyre Forge and has kidnapped Azan. So, then she loses the fight between her and Ceres because Rom joins the party and she runs away and actually tries to go to the Paladins. Now the Paladins will try to group up together, very much likely, and fight this over. So I just want to clarify here something. As a person who really likes lore, I've seen a lot of people state that Terminus and Inara are like lovers or husbands and wives, etc. And I know that this is literally not important, but I never actually found the true moment to actually talk about it, so why not now, since Inara is looking for Terminus. All the Stagala have been created by the Paladins, so essentially they are all, childs or creations, kids of the Paladins, right? Now, unless you're telling me that each Paladin created one specific Stagala and therefore they're all not blood related, that would be the best term, how in the hell do you expect Inara and Terminus to be married or lovers? In fact, if they have been created, there's no such thing as a reproduction system to them, so therefore there's no such thing as that. They're literally just like machines who get called in for battle, essentially. I mean, you can even see Terminus is so much that somebody even managed to hijack his control by killing it and putting an abyssal core into him that connects to a dagger that people can just control him with. So, I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I know that people are going to say, oh, but Thunderbrush did a picture where they were together. Yeah, listen, fan art is still fan art, even if it is done by an artist of the Paladins, Paladins dev team. Those are not official, okay? If they were official, I guarantee you they would even add them into here in the middle of this. Obviously, if they were PG, but you understand my point here. So, tossing that aside, all right, for anyone who has that idea, I think that doesn't make any sense, but that is up to you guys. But tossing that aside, we now know that Inara is going to be leading the Paladins, and she's also going to be aiding to what is happening with Furia. Now, I think this is a good sign because this means that now the Paladins already know where to start, right? Because there's something happening on the city of Ceres and they can just start from there. If they gather enough forces and go all together to over there, they might be able to stop them in time before the realm gets swarmed with abyssal monsters, obviously. So when it comes to Azan, I don't know if he's dead. I mean, there's nothing specifically stating that he is dead, but he could be, I don't know, like knocked down or something like that, because they did state something about like the seal of Yaggorath feeling weaker, if you guys remember on one of the Chronicles, where Vora even said that she would probably go and join that to try to release Yaggorath again. So yeah, these are actually pretty cool. I mean, it has a lot more interactivity there of the characters than, for example, just some random trailer with some pictures floating and somebody narrating it. Okay, like, yeah, sure, that's still cool. I would still love a trailer where this, is all spoken. I mean, considering the fact they have the lore lady from Smite there that sometimes is narrated or stuff, I don't think that it would be too much of a big work to just have her essentially just reading this all out to us so that we could have something here new. New lore, trailers, videos, etc. But, it's way better than having nothing, so I'm not going to complain. Paladins Chronicles are short stories meant to enrich the world of Paladins and serve as context for future events. Again, this does not mean events as in, like, for example, the, Rise of Fury event. This is for whatever future stuff is going to happen in the lore timeline, okay? Don't get it wrong, please. This is a part of Series 1. Please give us your feedback on socials. Wait. This is a part of Series 1. This is the first time I'm seeing this. I think they messed up, because this is part 1 of this section here, but I don't think they would even needed a part. I mean, you could have just continued the story like we've been doing, all of them tied together one after the other, so whatever. But still, nonetheless, fantastic work. Love the story so far. It actually is putting more characters into the lore that we expected. Like, for example, Grohk. I would never expected them to join the Grohk into the story, but that's actually fantastic. So, yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We now know that Grohk not only leads his tribe, but also keeps them protected, and was a part of the group that helped out create peace on the realm. And now he's also the one who's apparently trying to bring the Paladins together. Fantastic. So before it was Atlas that was essentially, trying to bring them all together and warn them of the incoming doom. Sorry. And now it's actually Grohk. Fantastic. So yeah, what do you guys think of this section of the story? Do you think that it is okay? Does it match up with what we've been having so far? And if you would be able to change something, what would it be? All right, like just what it says here in the bottom. Please give us feedback on socials. If you give me the feedback on the comment sections down below as well, I will also be sharing this with developers, so feel free to do so here and also on their tweet. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the Chronicles series, don't forget to drop a sub and a like, and if you haven't seen the other ones, check them out later. All right, they're all in the playlist, and I'll put the playlist and also the video of the entire storyline up until now in the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Till then, have a wonderful time. Now, stay safe, I guess. Bye-bye.